From Washington, this is VOA News. I'm Jonathan Jones reporting. Thousands of pro-opposition marchers, some braving temperatures as low as minus 45 degrees Celsius, gathered in dozens of Russian cities Sunday to support jailed opposition leader Alexei Navalny. Police arrested Navalny while he was on his way to a rally in central Moscow. He shouted, "Swindlers and thieves," before police jumped on him and threw him into a bus. Reuters correspondent Scarlett Cvitanovich reports.
The moment Russia's opposition leader was detained by police just minutes after appearing at a Moscow rally. Video footage posted on social media shows Alexei Navalny wrestled into the back of a patrol wagon just a few hundred meters from the Kremlin. He was walking to join several hundred supporters taking part in an opposition-led rally. The nationwide protests are calling for a boycott of what Navalny says will be a rigged presidential election in March. Earlier in the day, police raided his Moscow headquarters, forcing their way into the office using power tools, citing reports of a bomb threat.
Yemen's prime minister is accusing southern separatists of a coup after they seized several government buildings during fighting Sunday with government forces in the port city of Aden. The fighting killed at least 10 and left as many as 86 wounded, including some civilians. At least a temporary calm returned when Yemeni leaders ordered their forces back to their barracks. The fighting broke out when the president ignored separatists' demands to fire the prime minister, accusing him of corruption. This is VOA News. A French woman has been found alive on the treacherous northern Himalayan peak known as Killer Mountain, but rescuers have not been able to locate her Polish climbing companion. The two were trying to scale the 8,100-meter Nanga Parbat, but they got stuck at the 7,400-meter mark and used a satellite phone to call for help. To mark World Leprosy Day, the World Health Organization is calling for the eradication of this ancient disfiguring disease by fighting the stigma and discrimination that discourages people from seeking the help they need. Correspondent Lisa Schlein reports for VOA from Geneva.
This year's World Leprosy Day focuses on preventing disabilities in children. WHO reports children account for nearly 9% of all new cases of leprosy, including almost 7% of those with visible deformities. The UN Health Agency notes early diagnosis and early treatment can prevent disability. It says disabilities do not occur overnight, but happen after a prolonged period of undiagnosed and untreated disease. Unfortunately, it notes many people do not seek help until it is too late, and deformities already have appeared. This is because of the stigma and discrimination associated with leprosy. WHO is calling for laws discriminating against people with leprosy to be abolished and replaced with policies promoting inclusion of such people within society. Lisa Schlein for VOA News, Geneva.
6 adults and an unconscious baby were found Sunday after floating for more than a week in a small wooden boat in the Pacific Ocean. The New Zealand Air Force found the dinghy as it searched for survivors of a ferry that sank as it traveled between 2 islands in the remote nation of Kiribati. The Air Force crew was able to drop supplies, including water and food, to the survivors. The ferry, carrying 50 passengers, left an island on January 18th on a planned 2-day trip for South Tarawa. It never made it. Ingvar Kamprad, who founded Sweden's IKEA furniture brand and transformed it into a worldwide business empire, has died at the age of 91. He died Saturday of pneumonia in the southern Swedish region of Småland, where he grew up on a farm, and with some modest financial help from his father, began selling pens, picture frames, typewriters, and other goods. It was the start of what became known as IKEA, now with 403 stores across the globe. You can find more on these and other late-breaking and developing stories from around the world around the clock at voanews.com and on the VOA News mobile app. I'm Jonathan Jones reporting from the world headquarters of the Voice of America in Washington.
That's the latest world news from VOA.